The Dallas Mavericks is an organization that has seen many roster changes over the years during the Luka Doncic era. Role players have come and gone, coaches come and gone, even stars have come and gone. But it feels like this year, Nico Harrison has got the roster looking just right with his series of trades and acquisitions, where we saw at the trade deadline, we got PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, we got Dante Exum from overseas, we drafted Derrick Lively, but we also signed someone by the name of Derrick Jones Jr. on a one-year, $2.7 million contract. Very team friendly, and it has been paying dividends for us. And we do have an update that Derrick Jones Jr. does in fact want to return to the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to break all that down in this video, his past contracts, how much we could possibly pay him now, and more. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, I know you guys are going to get tired of it, but we are currently sitting at 7,855 subscribers. You guys are amazing. I love that you guys just show me nothing but love and support. I do have a goal of 8K, soon be 10K before the end of the season. So if we can hit that subscribe button and get me to that goal, that'd be very much appreciated. You want to stay up to date on everything Mavericks related, make sure you subscribe. But this video isn't about me or the channel. It's about Derrick Jones Jr., Flight 55, the man who has just... I don't know about you guys, but for me, he has just blown me away with just how he's changed his game. He went from just a high-flying dunker. He won the dunk contest in 2020 to a player who just plays great wing defense and is somewhat of a three-point shooter now. I think he's made the most threes this season than any other season before. He's shown that he can be that role player off the bench like we saw in the first half of the season. And then once when injuries started to hit this team, he stepped up and was a starter. And then even when people came back, he stayed in that starting role because he earned that role. We saw him in the first round of the playoffs where he was just locking down playoff P, more like way off P, Paul George in the first round, where he pretty much lived in his jersey, just lock him down, where some nights he actually outperformed Paul George. And now during the Oklahoma City Thunder series, I'd still say that he's still performing very well. I'm still impressed with what I see by Derrick Jones Jr. Maybe not the same from the first round, but I think that I can speak for everybody when I say that we are definitely getting way much more than what we're paying for from Derrick Jones Jr. And it's great to know this, that Derrick Jones wants to return to the Mavericks next season per The Athletic, and I think that's just great news. I think Derrick Jones Jr. may not be like a big name player. He may not be like a Kyrie Irving or Luka Doncic wanting to come back, but it's good to know that this roster is able to stay together. Derrick Jones Jr. was our only free agent. This team is built to win. Nico Harrison has said that this isn't a team for now. It's a team for the next 3 to 4 years. I say we're ready to go for the next 5 years, really. But we can't do that if we're constantly changing the roster, if we're letting good players go. I mean, I've seen the comments. A lot of the fans wish that we still had Jalen Brunson. He just dropped a 40-piece the other night. They're up 3-2 against the Pacers, and I know Jalen Brunson, as well as a few other players, are players that the fans wish we kept on to, that could have really helped Luka and this team win a championship. But I feel like those are the mistakes that we have learned from, because we got Kyrie Irving on like a 2 or 3 year deal. Luka's still on his deal. PJ and Gafford came onto the team. They got 2 years left. Derrick Jones Jr., our starter, which you can argue we could probably find a better player that fits that same niche. Cool. But I'm fine with who we have. I'm not upset with the production that we get on a nightly basis from Derrick Jones Jr. Could he hit his threes more? Yeah, but I mean, he's shooting great from three. In the first round of the playoffs, he was shooting like 38% from three while guarding Paul George, sometimes James Harden, sometimes Kawhi in those 2 games that he played. The value that he brings his team is just, it far exceeds how much that we can pay him. It far exceeds the $2.7 million that we're giving him now. But I'm not that good with numbers. I'm not that good with salary. So I had to go to Twitter and ask an expert on how much can we realistically pay Derrick Jones Jr. And I somewhat got an answer. Shout out to CBA Mavs. I highly advise anybody to follow this page. They are great when it comes to the breakdown of money. But he responded to me saying, we either need to offload some salary to use a full MLE on him, or we can use the tax MLE to give him a 1-and-1, which means a player option in the second year. He opts out next summer in 2025, and the Mavs would have early bird rights to give him a long deal. So, if you're like me and had to Google what some of these terms mean, pretty much, we can give him a 2-year deal with the second year being a player option. He opts out of that. We move some money around. We can, we have his early bird rights, so we can give him even a bigger deal. I think Derrick Jones Jr. deserves it. Off the top of my head, I'm not even sure if this money could work. I'd want to give him something of like 3 years, $15 million. I think is maybe not more than fair, but I think that's how much the starting price for Derrick Jones Jr. needs to begin. And just for comparison, when he was in Portland, either Portland or Chicago, he was on a 2-year deal worth $12 million. That's the most he's ever made in the league. So I think 3 years for $15 million, still more than your old contract in Chicago. I think that's fair. And if we got to pay him more, he earned it. He could have easily left us, chased the bag in free agency, but I think Derrick Jones Jr., Flight 55, he sees exactly what we all see. That this team is built to compete. They're built to win now, or at least in the next 5 years. Right now, it's not looking too pretty. We're riddled with injuries. We still don't have Maxi Kleber, which I know a lot of us are missing him. Luka Doncic isn't 100%, but we are relying on PJ Washington as well as Derrick Jones Jr. It feels like the entirety of this series to just help this team win games, and I really don't think we win as many games without Derrick Jones Jr. But also, just taking a look at the stats. Derrick Jones Jr., Airplay Mo Jones, Flight 55, for the regular season was averaging 8.6 points, 3.3 rebounds, 1 assist while shooting 48% from the floor, 34% from 3, which is higher than his career average, as well as 71% from the free throw line. He has been just amazing for us. And to just compare his regular season numbers to his playoff numbers, that top line right there is the first round against the Clippers. He was averaging 8 points, 4.3 rebounds, 0.7 assists. He was shooting 38% from 3 and 56% from the floor in those 6 games. He was amazing for us in the first round. Now, like I said, the second round against OKC, it's a little bit different matchups, different feel for the game. I still think that he brings value, but he is averaging about 30 minutes a game, while 9 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. His three-point shooting dropped about 20%. He's only shooting about 18% from 3 and only 35% from the floor, but he's shooting 71% from the free throw line. So I guess not all things are bad when it comes to Flight 55. I'm just glad that we can just keep the main core of this team together. I truly believe that everybody, even down to Dante Exum, who really isn't having that great of a playoffs, is very valuable to this team. I don't think that we need to make any major changes, any major tweaks to the roster come next season. Maybe add a player for the cheap, maybe offload some salary so we can actually pay Derrick Jones Jr. what he wants. And I've seen the comments. I've had people tell me that Tim Hardaway Jr. is on the top of their list, and maybe Dwight Powell. I've also seen people vouch that we need to keep Dwight Powell for the locker room, and I agree. I think Dwight Powell and as well as Markieff Morris have a lot of value to these guys on the bench in the locker room. And maybe we do move away from Tim Hardaway Jr. He is on a much bigger deal than Derrick Jones Jr. So if we could offload him somewhere, maybe get something nice in return that still gives us some cap to pay Derrick Jones Jr., I'm not too sure. It's not up to me. It's up to Nico Harrison, but it's the fact that he wants to stay is huge. We've got something built great here in Dallas. We're going to win something soon. I just feel it. It starts today. It starts tonight. So make sure you subscribe because we're going to be going live today for Game 5 against Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to be a wild one. It's going to be great. But just keep your heads up. Have hope. Mavs fans for life. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also check out our Twitter, Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing another free jersey giveaway. The only way to enter that giveaway is to become a channel member. Until next time, y'all take care. I'm going to go take a nap before tonight's stream. Another late one, but we got this. Peace.